Hi, my name's Bill Deepaveen, and I'm glad to be here. I've been asked to talk to you about mediation and what's behind that particular process. I guess in short, I'd probably say that mediation is a process that allows the people involved in a dispute to come together, to talk about it, and to come up with a solution that works for them. Now, it's important, just think for a moment about a time when you've been in conflict with someone, a time when you've been in a dispute. And if you're like me, you've probably been in a situation where the conversation just seems to go on and on and on without getting anywhere. It's like what I describe as that hamster wheel where you're in there and doesn't seem to be making any progress. Well, what mediation does, it provides you an opportunity to talk about the situation, what's important to you, but there's someone in the room that's going to keep you focused. It's someone in the room that's going to guide you through a discussion process that's going to allow you to come up at the end of the day with a solution that's going to work for you, a solution that addresses the things that are important to you. Now, let's talk a little bit about the process and what you might expect. In the mediation process, a mediator would probably spend some initial time with you talking about the situation, what do you hope to get out of it. Once they've done that, they'll call you together for a meeting. Now, in that first meeting, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on what I call the rules of the sandbox. These are the things of trying to lay out, I guess, the guidelines for the discussion. How are we going to talk together? Things like confidentiality. Are we going to keep things in confidence? How important is confidentiality? We're going to talk about things such as the authority to settle. Are the right people in the room? Do we have the people here that can actually authorize a solution? Because if we don't, we probably really don't want to get together at this point. We want to make sure that at the end of the day, we can do what we promised to do. We'll talk about things like respect. How can we make sure that we don't interrupt each other? Because this is all about having a conversation that's going to be important to us, that's going to allow us to hear what the other person has to say, and also allow us to say what's important to ourselves. Once we've done that, the mediator would ask you to simply talk about what's important to you, but do it in a Reader's Digest version, a short kind of description. Each of you will have the opportunity to do so. You'll do it in a manner that's unrestrained. You can say what's important to you. The other person isn't going to be interrupting or anything like that. When we've done the Reader's Digest version, we're going to go into the details. We'll talk about the situation in detail. We'll talk about why you're here, what's important about the situation, what it is that you want to resolve. And these are what we call the interests. These are the things that are really, really important. And I describe interests as a situation like an orange. Two of us are fighting about an orange. We both want the orange. At the end of the day, we have to come up with a resolution. It's either one of us having the orange and the other person not, or really finding something that's going to work out. Turns out that one of you might want to make sure that you want to use the orange peel. The other wants to use the orange for juice. By gaining that understanding, by gaining a clear understanding of what the interests are, we're able to come up with a solution. So the mediator is going to work with you to find out what those interests are. Once we've got the interests, we're then going to start talking about how can we come up with a solution? What's going to work for us? What's going to bring all the interests to the table and allow us to walk away with something that's going to work for us? The mediator will help you go through that process, exploring options. At the end of the day, what the mediator is going to do is work with you to make sure that what you agree upon is actually going to work for you. So we do what we call reality testing. Who's going to do what when? What kind of expectations do we have of each other so that even though we walk out of here with an understanding, we also know what the timing is going to be and what we can expect from each other. It's this process that gives you the control to come up with a solution that's going to work for you. You're not bound by anything. It's wide open. The world is open to you to come up with what's going to work. And it's that I believe is the key of this process. Having the frank, open discussion that's clear, that's uninterrupted, that allows you to gain an understanding of what's important, and then to come up with a solution that's going to work for you. Thanks.